the best. Our coalition's forming to stand up for what's right, to protect our Bahamas, and we're prepared to fight, protecting our waters.
When we can see God reflected in all that exists, our hearts are moved to praise the Lord for all his creatures and to worship him in union with them. This sentiment finds magnificent expression in the hymn of St. Francis of Assisi. Praised be you, my Lord, with all your creatures, especially Sir Brother's Son, who is the day and through whom you give us light. And he is beautiful and radiant with great splendor, and bears a likeness of you most high. Praised be you, my Lord, through sister moon and the stars. In heaven you formed them clear and precious and beautiful. Praised be you, my Lord, through brother wind, and through the air, cloudy and serene, and every kind of weather through whom you give sustenance to your creatures. Praised be you, my Lord, through sister water, who is very useful and humble and precious and chaste. Praised be you, my Lord, through brother fire, through whom you light the night, and he is beautiful and playful and robust and strong.
Once you
Good afternoon, Bahama Land, and welcome to another edition of Voice of the Bays, The Environment Speaks. And, we always start with that prayer of St. Francis, because every time I hear that, it reminds me of how close we are, intimately connected to our Mother Earth, to the environment, all of these beautiful entities that God has so abundantly blessed us. And this afternoon, we're going to go right into a particular program, which actually is a pet peeve of mine, because as I drive around many places in New Providence, some of the family islands, when I get to them, not so much them, because they don't have too much stuff to garbage up the environment with, but Grand Bahama, Nassau, etc., we have a serious problem. And so this afternoon, in the opening of this particular program, we have a distinguished young lady, and she will be introduced by the co-host Javan, and to tell us about what it is we're all about this afternoon.
Well, first of all, this is our first show of 2026.
Yeah.
So I gotta say Happy New Year to all the people listening to us, all the people that see us on the street and say, hey, when y'all coming back? So I just want to say shout out to y'all and a Happy New Year to everyone that's listening to us. As Uncle Joe said, this is a pet peeve of all of us. As we drive along, we just see all the litter, trash, debris, whatever it is. We see it all over the streets. So without further ado, I'll introduce the topic of the day and introduce our guest. So our topic today is Behind the Cleanup, the work, wins, and challenges of keeping Grand Bahama clean. And in studio today, we have none other than Cherish Russell, Mrs. Cherish Russell, who is a part of the Keep Grand Bahama Clean Committee. Cherish, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, come on, Jerry. Tell us something about yourself and what you do, what you're connected to, and exactly what is your passion about this particular topic.
Okay, so first of all, my name is Cherish Russell, married to one Jason Russell, and I have two children, two beautiful girls. And so I serve as Keep Grand Bahama Clean coordinator. So we coordinate different cleanups, go into the schools, do presentations, we do puppet shows, we do whatever you call us for related to getting and keeping Grand Bahama clean, we do. And I'm open to doing. And so my passion from this really goes way, way back. So my family is from Abigail McLean Sound. So I grew up on the water, basically, in the environment, fishing, cocoa, plum, sea grape, you name it, we did it. And I just want to make sure we have that for my children and for their children to come. And so anything that you ask us to do, we come and do. Any topic related to getting and keeping the environment clean and keeping it healthy, I do, from planting seeds, planting trees. Trust me, there's no limit to what Keep Grand Bahama will not do to get and keep our environment clean, because it's very important to us to make sure that we have that for the future.
And that's a great answer. I like that.
Yeah, me too. Go ahead, Javan.
We've been talking about, I think I saw your dad presenting on Blue Action Labs
panel,
and he was talking about fishing and the importance of keeping that alive. So you say that you came up under that upbringing about going fishing, picking seed, grape, and cocoa plum, and all true Bahamian. Basically, what do you feel now when you go in those areas picking and you see trash and you see like just it's being abandoned, people not really going to the natural things, and they just see outside as a place to just throw trash? So under the grape trees and cocoa plum trees, how do you feel about that?
It's very disheartening, and it's kind of like, where are you from? Or who's doing this? It's hard to believe that people from Freeport or from Grand Bahama or wherever you're from, a Bahamian, is going around and just trashing everywhere with no regard of the future, with no regard of the present. Because where you see garbage, you'd be surprised. The things that you see, you'd be surprised. Even driving around Grand Bahama, dropping my children to school, looking on the side of the road, I can't understand or fathom why people just throw garbage out of their windows. As they walk in, they drop in, and like they don't even give it a first thought to say, what am I doing? And why am I doing this? Or the effect that will have on the future or the current people here. Because I don't know about you, when I see garbage on the ground, it's just like, Lord, what's happening? It makes me feel almost stressed right away.
I think, I've studied this whole thing in terms of the whole psychological aspect of how we relate to Mother Earth. And when you listen to the prayer of St. Francis, every iota is created by the divine, and it has sensitivity, has energy. It is a living life force energy. And I remember some time ago, I was invited by Reverend in Nassau to speak to a whole group of young people by Jaws Beach, one beach that we helped to Save the Bays, helped to secure from being devastated by the developer and taking the sand from that area. And we just happened to have a great assembly out there with the young people. And I just thought in my mind, I said, let me ask them, where is paradise, or the Garden of Eden? And I didn't expect to get an answer, but I said, come on now, think. And they gave me all sorts of answers. They said Egypt, Africa, some places like that. And some people even said, you're born. And then I said to them, think carefully, where is the Garden of Eden? And one 7th grade student stood up and she said, Uncle Joe, I know where the Garden of Eden is. It's right here. We're on the Garden of Eden. And I wish we could understand that.
Yes.
That is a live, living entity.
Yeah.
And whenever you touch the belly and the bosom of Mother Earth, you are in contact with her energy, because we basically come from her. Every aspect of our entity, except for the soul and endowed into our being, we come from her. And I wish people would understand that the moment that you take something, you drop it like that or something, there's a reverberation coming from Mother Earth.
Yeah.
And she knows that something has set upon her, something that doesn't belong there. And I think what we do in our programs and in the YA Youth Environment Ambassador and our cadet programs, we are bringing them to that awareness that you cannot ignore the fact that Mother Earth, the earth, the dirt, is a living entity, and it is aware of everything we do to it. Yeah. And if you have that conscientious awareness of that, then you will succeed from her. You may gain energy from her to do the work that you should be doing. Yeah. And so I think, what do we need to do in this country? Because the same thing, you go to Nassau and you drive around and people just toss stuff out of their vehicles on the side of the road. And some even in front of a police car, they do it. The police never stops them. I want badly to get police from Grand Bahama on our program to find out what are they going to do to stop this indiscriminate dumping. And there's some streets, especially those that emanate from fast food entities, like the one right over by our office back over there. Oh, yeah. I mean, every morning you go there, there's garbage all over the place, man. Come on, people. That's dirty. That's stinking. I'm sorry. I'm going to get carried away here today. No. I'm so tired of it. And then we do cleaning up in the canals, as you know. Yes. We take our waterkeeper boat and we travel through there. And, the tides come in and out. It's ebb and low tide, ebb and flowing tide. And, of course, when the tide flows in, it brings all garbage and the seaweed that they've dumped from the boats out there, the ocean as well. And so, again, be aware of that. This is something that's flowing. The entity, the majesticity of Mother Earth. We got to come to the realization that we have no right to garbage up our belly. And please remember, I hope we could teach the young people, because we take, when we have cleanup, from the clean, you work with the Port Authority.
Right.
With them. Yeah. You know how much garbage, Javan, you tell them how much garbage we pick up out there.
My Cherish, no, because she's the one who gets the numbers. So on different beaches.
Tell us how many pounds and truckloads and garbage. What are those big black garbage bins?
Rolled off?
They were what, 50 gallons?
They have different sizes.
But no, I mean the big ones that we fill up and dump on the truck.
I don't know. I can't say exactly.
Well, Javan knows. he can't even lift them.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Cherish. Tell us what you're going to say.
I believe y'all saw my notes because I have to carry this information to you guys because last year, believe it or not, you would have picked up over almost 3,200 pounds of garbage, and that's just from 5 cleanups. So we don't have the other information where we collaborate with different entities, how much they picked up.
Oh, wow.
So keep in mind, put it in perspective, if you have a small bottle like this that weighs maybe 0.2 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So about 3,200 pounds of garbage in 1 year. And so I find that to be ridiculous.
That's 3,200.
Right, 3,200 pounds of garbage.
Jeepers creepers.
I know.
And it's only selected locations because it's only
Correct.
like on some points it's on the side of the street or on the beaches, right?
Correct. So like Xanadu Beach, we actually had to walk around downtown. Where we had different eco schools, water keepers, Puerto Rico Kiwanis Club help us out. But basically it's off the beaches. So that's the sad part as well, because the beaches feed us, or the water feeds us, I would like to say.
Yeah.
Like you say, my dad loves to fish himself. And that's what blows mine for every time, because we are people that heavily depend on the water and the environment. However, we have no problem trashing it. And like Mr. Darville said himself, you touched it. We have to catch the children. I feel like that's where it begins. Just to be adults, and then once you get the children, you get the parents. Because the question that we often ask the children is, have you seen your parent or your guardian throw garbage out the window? And children know parents not to do that, and they do. And even my baby is 4, so we had been to Junkanoo, of course, and she's dancing and having a time, and she walked up to me, put her hands up. It was maybe a little gum wrapper. So I thought she wanted me to lift her up on the bleachers. So she said, no, I only wanted to give you this wrapper. And everybody burst out laughing. But it goes to show you it was what you teach them.
A little wrapper.
You have to
she
teach
had
them.
that conscientiousness to be able to give that to you.
Instead of throwing it on the ground.
And dropping it. You mentioned Xanadu Beach, which, the hotel has been abandoned there for a long time. But it seems to be a place frequented so often by so many people on the beach. And one of the last cleanups that we had, we participated in water keepers and so forth, in conjunction with other entities. I think you were there too. It was the enormous amount of garbage just from the beach area.
Yeah.
What can we do to still have access, for people to have access to that beautiful beach, but yet to have it secure enough so that they can have the conscientious mind that whatever they take there and dispose of it as they should. They even bins around there in the area, and sometimes they just drop the stuff right next to the bin, not even putting it in. How for us to our that they have a responsibility to keep this little island clean and pristine.
So before you would have mentioned the police. So last year, keep Grandma McLean along with, again, water keepers and several other entities with this, I think it's ACP teams and his group. And so what they said to us is, if you bring evidence, so let's say if you see Javan, I know you're not going to do it, but Javan littering on the beach and you record him and you send it to them, or you can just bring it to us and we will send it directly to them. They'll go ahead and press the charges. But the thing is, you have to have the evidence. You can't say, I saw Javan dumping, because people they cannot deny that that is them. So we ask people also, if you see people dumping, whether it be on the beach, on the streets, wherever it is, if you can get evidence, of course, not putting yourself in any harm or any danger, do not confront anybody. But if you get a picture of a license or a video, that would be nice as well, because that's something that we can use to go ahead and prosecute them. So it's different fines of different amounts if you're found dumping different things, and how much time you're fined dumping those things. I think the first time is $500, and then the third time is, I think, over $2,000 and time in jail.
And
if I'm correct. So we have to be each other's keeper, or like he said, be the environment's keeper, because the thing about it is we want it to last for the future. And so the more I always think that us as Bahamians, we are prideful people. So once you call somebody out, or once they get shame or embarrassed, and they wouldn't do it anymore. And once people see that becoming a trend, then it'll catch on, because people don't want to be showed out. And then a lot of people like to be called nasty. But if you're nasty, you're nasty, And so if people see that is a trend, if you're getting prosecuted, you're getting called out, or whether it be Facebook, whether it be the police knocking on your door and letting you know, you have to pay us this money or you're going to go to jail, it would stop. And then just spread the information in the schools to the children, to the parents as much as you can, because sometimes when you put garbage bin someplace, that inspires people to throw the garbage around
Exactly.
the garbage can, especially the signs. So we find that if we put up signs, they do not dump here. People
sure they just
and if they look for the signs, I'm going to do this right here for some weird reason. So I think getting information out there, pushing it down their throats would also I wouldn't say a snitch, but just be a responsible person, a good steward of your environment. Think about the future.
But realistically speaking, have you ever heard of one single case of anyone being charged with dumping on the side of the road? Because like I said, I've seen people dumping right in front of a police car, and they don't even stop the person, catch up with them to give them a ticket. So how are we going to train the police? In fact, we need the police out more often in these particular garbage dumping areas, and we know them. And the police, I'm sure the police know them, and they know what time of the night they're doing it. It's late in the evening when they're coming from these fast food places. They should be patrolling those areas to catch some of these people, just to teach them a lesson. They could give them at least a warning. They're not going to have like $100 or $500 to pay for dumping the garbage inside of the road, but at least they should be given an educational warning. Something got to be done. It's tiresome seeing it day after day, and the amount of garbage that we pick up every time we go collecting garbage. We're way out on the beaches, we go and we clean up one, and then we go back there a month later, it is and all they have to do is take something and bring it back home and put it in a proper receptacle. You hearing me, family members all over the Bahamas? I grew up in Long Island. We didn't even have these fast foods and stuff. But we used to sweep the dirt. Our dirt had to be clean.
You know what? I never believed until I was like, "What this dude doing? That dude was sweeping the dirt,
sweeping the dirt."
I sit up there and I watch him for 5 minutes. I was like, "Let me see what this is," because this is new to me. Sweeping the dirt.
Because see, if a chance a leaf or something that was not organic just blew in there or something on the ground, then we went and we swept it up. You couldn't find one. Well, we couldn't discuss anything, but even cans and tins and cups and all of that, we had to use them. And we cut them in milk cans. We couldn't throw them away. We had to use them to drink water from the well. But today, there's such a negligence mentality in our people, how they treat Mother Earth. And she is crying all day long, because Getty had, for example, like all the work that you're doing and Waterkeepers and Save the Bays are doing for refurbishing the environment. Every one of those young people who come into contact with that type of work, they are not going to garbage up the belly of Mother Earth.
Right.
You can be assured of that, because they know that the energy coming from her, and I'm not an idiot or energetic idiot. But I know this because St. Francis says it. The sun and the moon. He was talking about the light to brighten the night. He wasn't talking about electricity, you know.
No,
because back in his time, it was torchlight. You know, there wasn't lights, any like lanterns and so forth. They didn't have them, but they had torchlight. And so, you know, let's. Oh Lord, I wish I would live long enough to see that we could. You know, I visited European countries.
Right.
Oh my God. You can never ever find any iota or anything on the ground around in those countries like Switzerland and even London and so forth, because they carry their garbage bags in their vehicle, and anything that's disposable they put it in there, or they stop on the side of the road and they even have like 3 or 4 different garbage containers depending on the type of garbage. And they would put them in there.
That's true. They're jumping here too. They like, you know, we ain't just trashing. I say trashing. We ain't just coming for you know, or only seeing the nastiness. I would say that on a regular day, random time, I was at the beach in Xanadu and I saw this young fella he pulled up in the truck, and I was like, my mindset was like, watch this nasty, you know what? Throw this thing on the ground. But no, I was ashamed because he opened the gate and put his stuff inside, and all the stuff that was on the ground, he stopped and picked. And nobody looking at him. He did that. And so people picking up stuff. Yeah. There are people, when they see trash, they do pick that up. But the thing is, we only see when the nasty people doing it. It's probably a lot more of them. But I have seen people picking up trash on the side of the street. I have seen that with my own eyes. So the message is getting out there. People are listening. They're listening to their children. So I must say that it ain't everybody.
No.
I saw the organization throwing trash in the bush, and I was so mad that I didn't get to record it. All I could say was some stuff to her, but I wasn't thinking to get my camera and record it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it just caught me off guard that I should have gotten proof first. So what Cherish is saying, that if you or anyone out there who's listening see someone in the act of littering, get the proof. And the second thing I wanted to say, you don't see a lot of that stuff happening in other countries because they have very anti-littering laws, and so a lot of us see on the side of the street. So let's think about innovation, how we could turn trash into treasure. And the next thing is, I was talking about a country, maybe Thailand, I can't remember what it was, where if you, with a camera, could capture someone and it leads to them being prosecuted, you get a percentage of the fee that they have to pay. Awesome. And I've been saying that forever. Like, we talk about jobs. You'll have all kind of reporters around here. With even people who ain't got money got a good phone.
Yeah.
So they could capture good footage. That's great incentive to know that if you have to pay $500, get percent of that. So 150, so $50 coming out. I mean, so you ain't saying label it as snitch. You label it as you're a good steward of the environment, and you could make your little money at the same time. And also, you didn't get to answer the question, but can you speak about anyone that's being prosecuted or have been prosecuted for being caught in that process?
I know persons have been prosecuted, but we know that new law, they're not allowed to, I think, photograph or videograph and put it out there. So we know that they have put people to the court, and they have been fined. It's just video out there.
Can I post it, or because it's going through the process?
So let's just say if they prosecute someone and Javan is out there with his phone, he could post it. Remember, typically back in the day when they led people to court, they used to have it on the video when she knew it. That's why I use that now. But as a civilian, of course, you can do it. But we just don't know exactly when it's happening to say go out there and record and put it out there. But they have been making strides towards implementing those rules and laws that are blatant, because in the books, but they have to have the evidence to be able to to so. It can't be he say she said. They have been.
Okay, I want y'all to hear that good. People have been prosecuted. So it's not just on the books. It's not like it's some arbitrary law that nobody's.
Right.
They have been caught and it's in due process. So just saying, I'm just saying.
And then the thing about it is, people think that the fee for sanitation services is so expensive, but you have so much stuff that is for free. So let's say, for example, Mr. Darville is doing some renovations. He wants to change his fridge, his stove, his mattress, his framing, everything that he would carry to the dump. Once it's personal, you can personal card on it, my card.
Okay.
But people would rather, let's say, if you pay, even so, if you pay someone, a contractor or whomever, to carry it to the dump, then they dump that somewhere else. We see that everywhere. So there was one street in particular we turned through, and I couldn't believe my eyes, my mouth literally dropped. There were washers, dryers, deep freezers.
Oh.
Yeah.
But those appliances, if you're changing them out in your home, they're for free. So just carry them to the landfill.
Yeah.
And then too, if you give somebody the job to dump your trash, make sure that they carry the head at work just to make sure that you do your due diligence, because some people will pay a third party and that third party would dump it in the bush somewhere.
Yeah. I wonder if that's an enormous dumping ground for industrial things. Everything imaginable is there now being dumped, particularly since the recent hurricanes, Dorian, and even before that. And then people move there, then the whole of that has become everything imaginable from building materials are being dumped there. And what's going to happen that if we have a hurricane from that area, and it's going to sweep all of that into the ocean again. Is there any way that, does the Port Authority or the government have any jurisdiction over that area, or that is considered a private entity?
Once in the Freeport proper area, we do. So what typically happens is, people may not be aware. Let's say if you see a dumping site and you call us, that's actually my job. So people might think it's always pretty. It's not. So we go and we investigate, meaning that we sometimes sift through the garbage aspect. Because sometimes when people dump debris, they would be, I wouldn't say as educated as to leave names on their items.
Right.
So let's say if we go and we sift through the garbage and we see names, then we call you in and we investigate you. And if it's not you, then it has to be someone else who you would have paid. So you're not going to have no knowledge whatsoever of how your garbage got somewhere. So once you call us, 350-9000, and you ask for the environmental department, or you could ask for my 350-9000. Or my direct line is 350-9164.
9164.
Yeah, 350-9164. If you use the app See Click Fix and you report it, then we go out and we investigate. So anything that we could find that can tie to an individual or a business, and we call them in. So it's that simple. So I don't want people to see debris and not say anything.
Because I know there's an area.
Well, you know, I videoed extensive amount of the garbage dumping in Queens Cove, that area, and I actually sent it into the Port Authority. Now, I don't know what jurisdiction they have to do anything about that, but if someone could just go there and look at that area, because what's going to happen is that depending on the winds, it's going to sweep that garbage eventually back into the waterway. Where all the mangroves are, or it's going to wash it out into the ocean in the Bay Area beyond the coastline out there. And it's going to cause a tremendous amount of havoc, you know, within the shoreline of Queens Cove on both shores, the inner coastal area and the outer coastal area. And it's probably going to sweep it all the way going down to the mangroves, going down all the way towards the West End. You know, depending on the winds and the tides. And so I think something has to be, and it's mostly industrial stuff, like people apparently who are repairing houses and tiles and stuff and all this metal and so on. They're not paying it to take it to the dump. They're getting someone to haul it, and that's where they're dumping it.
Yeah.
So once you call me, or even if you want to pin a location and send it.
Well, what I'll do, I'll go down there. I haven't been there for about 6 months now because it was a havoc, terrible then. But I'll go there again soon, and I'll be in touch with you.
Yeah, so that's not a problem.
Yeah.
Or even if you could pin it and you can send it to myself.
Okay.
Oh, so the next thing that we want to mention is if you are a part of an entity, or even you're part of a school, or you have a private cleanup that you want to take part in, we support that as well. So you call me 806-9964 or 350-9164, and we would go ahead and give you a starter kit. So in that starter kit, we have gloves, we have bags. The only thing that we ask you to do is if you take any pictures, send it to me, and then we also give you a form to collect the garbage that you do find. And so if you find some garbage, that's an industrial garbage or a dump site. So I know last year what happened was we was called out to the site off of Queens Highway where it was an extreme amount of garbage. And they just pinned the location and they sent it to my phone, and we investigated, and we found a few people that were responsible, and we held them responsible.
Did you have them go there and clean it up?
Yes, we did have them go there and clean it up. So that's two in instances where we find the person, however we find them, we then give them the task to clean it up, and they have to show us the receipt that they went to sanitation and they dumped it there. So let's say if the four of us go there and we dump and we find your name, but we can find the rest of us, you're responsible for cleaning up everything.
Okay.
So we do whole person's responsible when we find evidence that they have dumped to clean up the area, or pay someone to clean up the area for them. But of course, you have to come back to us and show us the receipt that you actually dumped it at the landfill.
I love it. You know, today when I posted the flyer, and I was telling Cherish this earlier, like I had some people just come in the chat DMing me, and they was like, "Is that Cherish? Like she's the MVP." So now we know you the real MVP for kind of being a force behind this to getting this stuff done. Like I didn't realize that if you found their names, you could go and make them clean it up.
Right.
Like I gonna need you to tell that everywhere. But anyway, I just said that because we are already at the halfway mark of the show, believe it or not. And again, today we have Mrs. Cherish Russell of Keep Grand Bahama Clean Committee, and we're talking about behind the cleanup, the works, wins, and challenges of keeping Grand Bahama clean. Now, if you have something to add, if you want to give us your 2 cents, if you want to tell us your story, if you want to just get it out there and say something on the air about your neighborhood, about the cleanliness of it, about what you want to talk about, just call us 602-1033, 602-1033, and we'd be happy to hear from you and hear what you have to say, because this is all of our issue. Keeping Grand Bahama clean isn't just for tourists. It isn't just for guests. It's for us. And one of the worst things in the world for me personally as a Grand Bahamian is when I speak to tourists, and I'm seeing them walking around with garbage bags, picking up trash.
Collecting, I've seen it very often.
And I've seen that about 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
and the lady was like, "Where I come from, you just don't realize that you live in paradise."
I know.
And she's like, "I here on vacation, but I just can't see this mess. I cannot see it. So I dedicate a day of my vacation to come and pick up some trash." And I sitting up there as a Grand Bahamian, like looking at this woman, like what do you say to that? So you know what I mean? So I said, "Thank you." Pick up the full bag that they had already and dump it for them. And they kept on their merry way picking up trash. So how y'all feel about that?
Just this morning, because I usually drive around the areas of Freeport, like the back road and so forth.
Yeah.
And the one waterway there on the eastern side of the Xanadu, the old hotel there, I was parked out there for a while earlier today. And I saw a white tourist actually come out there with a bag and started to walk that beach, picking up pieces of garbage.
Yep.
They come here. The white, I want us really to get a handle on this. And so, Mrs. Russell, if you want to contact our office, 350-9000-9000, or direct to her, 350-9164.
Yes.
And Javan, give them our number, water keepers, because, we do a lot of monitoring. We do what we call it a canal sweep. And we pick up all sorts of garbage that come in there with the tides on the seaweed that fishermen dump overboard, and it flows in on the seaweed. Give them our number so they could call us as well.
Okay, so you can reach us at our offices at 821-2221, 821-2221. Give us a call. If you want to come and volunteer to be a part of the cleanup initiative, you're more than welcome to come with us to plant mangroves, to pick up trash. We work along with Keep Grand Bahama Clean and other groups like Earth Care and, school groups in the eco schools to not only be sustainable, but to spread this message and put in the work. One thing we didn't talk about was your eco school work. Could you tell us more about your involvement with the eco schools and how that is helping with the whole issue of keeping Grand Bahama clean?
Okay, so eco schools is an international program. Basically, you go through bonds. This is the first one. So that's the beginning. If you want to be eco school, you could go ahead and again call that number 350-9164 or 806-9964. It's a shameless plug. You go ahead and contact me, or you can even email me at russell@ga.com. And so I send you an application and just different action sheets. So what it is you will go ahead and you fill out general information about your school, and then you come up with, you do a audit. So you go around your school and you see what can improve, or what's the status of your school right now pertaining to water usage, energy usage, trash, and you say, how are you going to have a positive impact on that? And so you go from bronze to silver to your green flag. So green flag program is an international program, and we partner with Brief in Providence to just facilitate that here on the island. And so schools just do their very best to get that award. So we have different schools like Freeport Gospel Chapel, Mary Star, Bishop Michael, Eldon, Lucana National School that have that green flag. And we have recently had St. Lapis Academy and Walter Parker Primary come on board. So we're pushing very hard to get them over. To get that green flag. Yes, actually the Beacon was a part of that as well.
Nice.
So they have, I think last year they got their silver, they're working tirelessly towards their green flag. And it's just to show the world the things that they're doing. So they have done things like they have different farms, they have irrigation systems, they have solar panels. They again monitor their energy usage. So different schools can show how over time, once they sign on to the program, they've seen energy usage go down. They've seen water usage go down. And of course, it has a direct effect on their bills. And some schools have even gotten grants to go ahead and facilitate those projects. So it's not something that you have to do on your own. You have assistance. And again, I'm open and I'm here to help any and everyone when they want to do it. Don't bombard me all at once. But
listen now, you mentioned a number of schools. I'm very happy about them. What about the schools outside the Freeport area, like 8 Mile Rock, Holmes's Rock, West End?
Anywhere. So we even have.
So how do you initiate a program in them? They're not gonna necessarily come up with the whole idea themselves. But do you have initiative to go to talk to the students or the administration in those schools in 8 Mile Rock, Holmes's Rock, and West End?
So what we have done to the past is reach out to those principals and certain teachers who have come to different presentations about it. So last year we went into 2 government schools, and we hope to go into more because a goal of ours in 2026 is actually to reach out more into the outskirts. So typically when we have stuff like tree planting, we reach out to those schools to see if we can go and plant things in their area. And we actually have the children do it to see if we can get them interested in the environment, to show them it's not just us, it's them as well, and they can play a role even if they're very small. So believe it or not, like I said, this green flag program is an international program. So we have schools all over and through the Bahamas that are a part of this, down to I think Cat Island. They had some teachers to the gathering to speak about what they did down there. So it's not a very large scale activity where it's unreachable. We hold your hand through the process. So any question that you have, you could reach out and we answer you back right away. So anything that we can do to get schools to accomplish this, we do so.
Please don't leave out my island, Long Island.
No.
Because those people are very conscientious, and not only that, but now we have some of our Manny, the little booklets.
Yeah.
They have them now in Long Island in the library. And I have a niece there, and she actually is going to do presentations to the people there about the mangroves, the importance of the mangroves. And you know, we have a place, in fact, what's a library or the museum, whatever it is in a place called Mangrove Bush. See, we have so many mangroves in Long Island. Even the settlement is named after the mangroves. Yeah.
I say you came alive talking about Long Island just now.
This is a Long Island man. He's a Long Island man.
Or a change just now. I'm almost certain that there's an eco school in Long Island. However, if your niece wants to
I'll check. Yeah.
check and then get back to me.
I'll check with my niece. She's a teacher in the northern part of Long Island, but she's originally from Mangrove Bush, Pettis, as we grew up in Long Island, where I came from, Pettis.
You need to take me there.
Long Island.
Listen, we've been talking about going to Long Island for the last 3-4 years. We need to go to Long Island.
This year, we're gonna make it happen.
This spring coming, the two of us gonna go to Long Island for a whole week.
Just the two of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff to do down there. You know, the Dean's Blue Hole, and I mean that place is just unbelievably majestically beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the Bahamas, though. The Bahamas is a beautiful place, a beautiful country, a beautiful place. And a lot of times we live here, but we don't see the beauty in it because we live here. Because we live here. You know what I mean? You take it for granted.
Yeah, that's why we're so conscientious and stuff. And like, you know, the programs that we do with the Waterkeepers and Save the Bays, environmental educational program, YEA, starting grade 7 to 9, and then we go into cadets, and then the cadets. I mean, everything examined by them scientifically in the environment, even what is in the ocean, the fish, etc. And they dive down, scuba dive down to 90 feet. And I've dove, Devon or dove? What's it? I dove.
I was gonna say drove. I was gonna say drove. I can laugh. No, but you just have to watch this man, you know. When you get under there, he's disappeared.
I disappeared, man, and we would sharks swimming over us and under us, and I just went off, and all of a sudden I'm 90 feet, and I feel this tugging on my
line.
The fin.
And I said, "Oh my God! Don't tell me the shark is trying to eat my friend." And I turned around, it's instructor with an angry face. Get up! She look at that thing. So when I went and she got up, you got slowly. She said, "You were going to run out of air down there," but that felt so good. I thought I was.
You know what?
I could have gone off.
Shout out to our friends at GB School, our friend Melinda for just making it so easy for scary people like me and others to feel so comfortable that I was having a nervous breakdown. Because it was my time. When it was my time to do it, it was Shark Week. On National Geographic, it was like all these things going on, and I couldn't tell my family that I going to die. So I was like, saying like, "Rachel, if I don't see you, you're laughing," but I had to do it because I was like, "Oh Lord, I'm going down." I was nervous, but when I got down there to see those sharks in check for me, I was like, all of that and y'all don't want to eat me? Like, what's your problem? You know what I mean? But they told us like the smaller fish will frenzy if you try to feed them. And if you don't feed them fast enough, like the yellowtail and all that stuff, it bit a person and they started going frenzying because they see the blood. The sharks see all of them frenzying and came over and it was like, oh, no. Fish blood, not human blood. They have a taste for us.
You're talking about heaven. My God, I wish many of our younger people could have that experience. I mean, even at my age, I was over 80 when I did it. And I couldn't, it was like I was in a trance, just going.
He sure was.
It is so beautiful under there. That's why in our program, you know, like the cadets, the older ones, they do it. They have that experience. And not only that, but this is motivating all of them, most of them, to go into an environmental educational program. You know, they're ending up with Coral Vita, the restoration of the conchs and all of that stuff, and they're going abroad and studying environmental science. So, you know, and I think it begins too, like with these schools, that you teach them about the environment, how to grow things.
Exposure is very important.
And we need, I want to put the plug out there for the schools that have the eco schools. Please stop by and make a contribution. You entities out there, make a contribution to these particular schools because they're doing a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah,
They need extra funds to buy materials like so forth for greenhouses and all that to grow this stuff. Like Mary Staub to see the Catholic Academy.
They're really massive.
I know. I mean, I go there all the time, and
I've been there, but I've been hearing word.
I'm
that is
so
really
happy
good.
about that place, man. So out there, you got some extra funds, entities out there, individuals. Go by the schools, the eco schools, and give them a donation so they can grow and teach all of those young people. When they come out of the schools, they know how to grow things for themselves.
Yeah.
Because a part of the eco school initiative is we have to ask them when they get assessed for their grant flag, what initiatives did you do that included the entire school?
Yeah, exactly.
So we make sure that it's not just grade 12 or grade 11 down to preschool ground, down to grade 1. So what Mary Sal would have done was, which ingenious, they gave every grade a responsibility of growing a certain crop.
Amen.
So when we went there for the assessment, they had these beds all over the place that were producing everything you needed for a salad, everything. And so it's an all hands on deck. So they do teach, our eco schools do teach all ages how to take care of the environment, how to grow things, how to be aware. Yeah.
One thing I can say that I love is the growing awareness. These eco schools are placed into these children's lives because now when I'm seeing them, they're talking about eco art or they're talking about what they did for eco school. And then I went to BMES when they had the eco fashion show. And now I'm seeing a lot of events popping up. So I just take the time to say that I saw it and I just have to say this on air. It's from an eco art and sculpture contest students. And what it is, Waste Gate is an island-wide eco art and sculpture competition empowering Grand Bahamas youth to protect our island and ocean through creativity, teamwork, and environmental pride. So students will collect plastic art and materials from each inland cleanups, then transform that into 2D or 3D artwork, and there's $1,000 cash prize reward for the winner of this. So I'm glad to see events like this happening. And if you want to be a part of that, just go on Instagram. It's @FromWasteWeCreate. That's one thing that something that's coming out of this growing eco movement. Another thing is something that I'm chairheading is 100 acts of kindness to the environment, where students, groups, anyone else can choose to pick up trash, plant a tree, do something that's in service of the environment. And then you turn around and create artwork or create a visual or audio work, music. So I created music from it, and then we're going to showcase it on Earth Day. So there's 2 amazing challenges that's out here, one for a cash prize, one for bragging rights. But I encourage all students, parents, groups, civic organizations, people who want to get involved in community awareness to come out and do that, because we want to encourage everyone to tap into your creative side and do something with all this trash that's happening around here. You know what I mean? Because otherwise it's just us talking to you. So we want you to put that in action. Every little bit counts. And we want you to visit these pages, 100 Acts Movement, which is about 100 acts, and @From Waste We Create. So we want to invite all of you to be a part of that. And just like that, we only have 10 minutes left in the program. Just like that.
You have a way that they could contact you information for further?
Yeah. So you'll just call that number, 821-2221, 821-2221. That's our office line. If you want to become involved with the 100 Acts, you can go to Instagram, and it's @Sculpture Contest for Students. There's a $1,000 cash prize for that. And of course, you would have gotten all of the numbers that we've been spewing out today. Maybe when we post this episode, we'll put the numbers in there for you to, reach out to Cherish at the GBPA, Keep Grand Bahama Clean, and, Just so easy
tell them where it's
reference.
going to be posted so they could.
Okay, so you can find us on all social platforms at 242 Waterkeepers. So just go on that page at 242 Waterkeepers, and we will have everything posted, all the information that you need on there for these different events. You know, check us out.
Also,
Did you
GB
get
Clean.
something from?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Instagram.
I'm gonna say that the last
Oh,
thing.
okay, you
Yeah.
saw
So
it. Okay. Any closing things? We're running out of
I
time.
want them
Too
to follow
fast.
us too. Keep GB Clean on Instagram, where we post any events or any contests that you would say. And again, if you want to reach out to me to start your own cleanup, 806-9964-350-9164. I'm open to, or we are open to helping anyone on gang and keeping harmony in presentations and puppet shows.
okay, I like the puppet shows. Maybe when we do our big expose, you know, of all the talents, we could invite you to come do something with the puppets.
And you can be a puppeteer as well.
Yeah, y'all had some good puppeteers. I ain't gonna lie, Orlana and Rico, everybody was really good puppeteers. So I love that. So any other thing like we want to say? We still got about 8 or so minutes.
Okay, all right. No, you go ahead. I thought we were running out of time fast because so many good stuff has been said. I just like to appeal to the parents of particularly those schools that do not have the, what do we call it, the green flag.
Mhm.
Put a little pressure on the administration of those schools to find out how they could get into this whole thing, because it's going to teach the children a whole lot about how to grow, how to cultivate,
Yes.
and how to care for the things that come from the belly and the bosom of Mother Earth.
Mhm.
Because, you know, she gives us all that sustains us, and we need to impress upon them at a very early age how they can facilitate and help her grow what she gives to us so abundantly. So,
Yeah.
you know, encourage them in that regard. So check with your school and say, you know, why don't you, why you're not a green flag school, and can we make a contribution to the school, because it does take money.
No, actually it doesn't, you know.
It doesn't.
It's free. You sign up for free, and typically the activities that you do are free as well.
Equipment and so forth like that, because I know if you want like a greenhouse or something and stuff so forth, that costs money.
Typically, I know some schools, they get people to donate that.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware of that, and that is very significant, because then they could go even further than ordinarily in order to bring about a whole facilitation of growing stuff. And it's embedded in the minds of these children.
Yeah.
And so when they get out there, they going to know exactly what they should do to help to grow
and how to do it.
help to grow.
And you know,
They know that the thing about they put on every night, the thing about growing stuff. You see that? That's good.
Yeah, it's very good.
Pay more attention to that. Growing is good.
Growing
is great.
Yes. What I like about it is, you know, we were invited to be a part of the evaluation of the eco schools a few times, and I will tell you that the one school that I went to, my mouth was open, like, what? These children doing so much, like
they are.
You know, they say they're able to report on it, have their own talking about it. They're talking about students involved with passing the message. They're labeling indigenous trees on the site, so they could recognize trees. They could just them outside of school. They say, "Hey, you remember me? I was a part of this, so I was a part of that." It's like, okay. I feel it important. And you know, a lot of them see our faces, and so they want to be a part of some of our programs. Say, "Hey, do you have a program? Hey, you hiring for the summer?" Someone who in college who came from eco schools, they're like, "Hey, could we intern with you?" So the message is spreading. The people who are really interested in this stuff, like the kids, they kind of take it to the next level and choose it as a career choice. And then they come back. Now, we had some students who are part of our youth program. So from grade 7 to 9, graduate college, have environmental degrees, and they're looking for opportunities to come back home, because they're like, there's no place like home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? After having done like internships, one guy, he did it in, you know, he was doing his internship in Germany. The other one was doing his internship like in different states in the US. And they were like, I won't come back home because I wanna focus on like the ocean, protecting the ocean, or something to do with the ocean. This is the best place. You know what I mean? Be surrounded by water. This is the best place to learn that. You know what I mean? So what we did, or and what other people have done was poured into them, and they're able to do that and come back. Sound like we have a caller? Say what?
Go ahead, caller.
Yes, sir. Can I make a contribution to the show, please?
Go ahead.
Hello?
We can't hear him.
Okay.
For the volume, huh?
Mhm. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I'm on the show, right?
Yes.
Okay. What's the position of the Bahamas, right? Is I've what's on AI, right? It's telling me that Bahamas, right, only have like 1% of our land,
You could hear him?
right?
Barely.
And that in the 1960s, right, we imported 20% of our food.
Oh, that's right.
I was saying that some of that seafood, right, and then today we import 10%, that's even less, right? And then they say the condition of our soil doesn't retain water because of its lime content, as well as the soil is tin. The limestone that is in the soil is tin, right? And what else? Just that the thing what we can do, right, to be able to produce more of our food is to do like greenhouse farming. And then the hurricane is an issue too, so then you have to build them to withstand hurricanes and things like that. What do you call the reeds there? That's hydroponics, that's hydroponics, no?
Yeah, hydroponics, yeah.
Right, and which one? And then the other thing they talk about is the nutrients in the soil, right? So then you have to use what you call it, what you call it, stuff that you make the compost.
Oh, yeah.
Right? As well as you could do the fishing, the water, the planting and water. What you call that one?
Hydro. Or aqua.
The fishing and water. What you call that?
Oh, aquaponics.
Aquaponics, right? So you can combine aquaponics, right? And the hydroponics together. Because the aquaponics do what you call it, the nutrients for the you see what I'm saying? So and then the thing with that is that it calls for a lot of high skilled workers. You see? So therefore we need to educate.
Yeah. Well, definitely educate.
That's right.
Could you contact us, please? Because we're going to run out of time soon. But I would love for you to.
Yeah.
The question we need to do is education. Not just on the farm itself, but on general education, destination, and healthcare. You see what I'm saying? These are the foundation of what's producing anything we do.
Yeah.
So when we come up with the backyard farming, there's only so much things you can do, the leafy stuff. There's only so much you can do.
Yes, sir.
There's other stuff we need to do.
All right, caller. Thank you for calling.
Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate those comments.
Yes, we have only one left, so I'll with this blurb from the Humane Society. So this is from the Humane Society. Looking for great deals and a great cause? Come on down to the Second Chance Secondhand Shop, where every purchase helps the Humane Society of Grand Bahama. And right now, we're having a huge sale in the store. Clothes, housewares, electronics, toys, books. If you can think of it, odds are we have it. So shop smart, save big, and help local animals at the same time. We are open Thursday through Saturday, 11 to 3. That's the Second Chance Secondhand Shop, giving treasures a second chance and pets a brighter future. So that's me. Any last words, y'all?
Go ahead.
We want to encourage people not to litter, to guess be good environmental stewards, and please stop littering. Find a receptacle to put it in.
Boom.
Okay. All right. Okay. The Voice of the Bays, the environment speaks, and remember all of these things. We say that look on our social media if you want to look at this production again. And like I said, support the eco schools. If you want to have contributions you can make to help them get it started, please do so. You want to contact the lady or Mrs. Russell today, 350-9 9164. Wonderful lady, a lot of information, a lot of experience. Okay. Okay. So we'll see you again soon. Voice of the Bays. The environment speaks.
Stop destroying our beaches and deepen all our sign. God gave us this land, and this land we must protect. So when I say save it, why should you object? We must protect the fauna, we must protect the flora, we must save it for rockets for a better tomorrow. Hey! Rise up, Bahamas, let your voices blaze. Stand up, Bahamas, come on, let's save the base. God gave us this land, and this land we must save. Stand up, Bahamas, babe. Rise up, Bahamas, come on. Now all you